Navel. The small hollow in the center of a person's belly where the umbilical cord was cut at birth. Neanderthal. Also Neanderthal man, an extinct human living in Ice Age Europe between c.120000 and 35,000 years ago. Northerly. And adverb 1 facing or moving toward the north. Obsidian. A dark glass-like volcanic rock formed when lava solidifies rapidly without crystallizing. OE. Dress someone in a set of clothes. Pent. Chiefly literary, another term for pent up. Perky. Cheerful and lively. Phishing. A type of internet fraud in which a person impersonates a reputable company in order to persuade others to reveal personal information, such as passwords and credit card numbers, online. Pomp. The impressive clothes, music, and traditions that are part of a grand public ceremony. Popper. Informal one, a pan or utensil for popping corn. Priestess. A female priest of a non-Christian religion. Prohibitive. Forbidding or preventing something. Quotient. Mathematics, a result obtained by dividing one quantity by another. Sabbatical. A period of paid leave granted to a college or university teacher for study or travel. Sailboat. A boat propelled by sails. Salaried. Earning or offering a salary. Scotty. Informal, a Scottish terrier. Sedation. The giving of a sedative drug to someone to calm them or make them sleep. Sleepover. A night spent by children or young people at a friend's house. Slingshot. A forked stick with an elastic strap fastened to the two prongs, used for shooting small stones. Slurry. A semi-liquid mixture of manure, cement, or coal and water. Spitfire. A person with a fierce temper. Steed. Old use or literary, a horse. Stutter. Have difficulty speaking as a result of the involuntary repetition of the first sounds of a word. Subspecies. Biology, a subdivision of a species. Subvert. Damage or weaken the power of an established system or institution. Sunburn. Inflammation of the skin caused by too much exposure to the ultraviolet rays of the sun. Swerve. Abruptly depart from a straight course. Tiller. An implement or machine for breaking up soil, such as a plow. Topple. Overbalance and fall over. Transcendent. Going beyond normal or physical human experience. Trapper. A person who traps wild animals, especially for their fur. Triton. A large tropical mollusk with a spiral shell. Trucker. A long-distance truck driver. Turban. A long length of material wound around a cap or the top of the head, worn especially by Muslim and Sikh men. Tusk. A long pointed tooth that protrudes from a closed mouth, as one of a pair in the elephant, walrus, or wild boar. Unending. seeming to last or continue forever. Unforgiving. Not willing to forgive or excuse faults. Uninstall. Remove an application or file from a computer. Unplug. Disconnect an electrical device by removing its plug from a socket. Vac. Informal, a vacuum cleaner. Valium. Trademark for diazepam. Wanker. Brit. WL required before something else can exist or happen. WL will, E shall. Alkali. A compound, such as lime, with particular chemical properties including turning litmus blue and neutralizing or effervescing with acids. Allusion. An indirect reference to something. Altruism. Unselfish concern for the needs and well-being of other people. Anomalous. Differing from what is standard or normal. Antioxidant. A substance that counteracts oxidation. Assemblage. A collection or gathering of things or people. Baht. The basic unit of money of Thailand. Bosh. Informal nonsense. Caress. Touch or stroke someone or something lovingly. Catchphrase. A well-known sentence or phrase. Censure. Criticize someone or something severely. Chewy. A food, needing much chewing before it can be swallowed. Childlike. Having the good qualities associated with a child, such as innocence. Clump. A small group of trees or plants growing closely together. Communicative. Willing or eager to talk or impart information. Connotation. An idea or feeling suggested by a word in addition to its main or literal meaning. Creeper. A plant that grows along the ground or another surface. Damper. One, a pad for silencing a piano string. Depository. A place where things are stored. Deuce. Tennis, the score of 40 all in a game, at which 2 consecutive points are needed to win the game. Disqualify. Prevent someone from performing an activity or taking up a job because they have broken a law or rule or are unsuitable. Dough. Variant spelling of pun. DRAM. Electronics, a memory chip that depends upon an applied voltage to keep the stored data. Electrostatic. Relating to stationary electric charges or fields as opposed to electric currents. Entrant. A person who enters, joins, or takes part in something. Eraser. A piece of rubber or plastic used to rub out something written. Etymology. An account of the origins and the developments in meaning of a word. Fibrous. Consisting of or characterized by fibers. Gratis. And adjective free of charge. Gratuitous. Having no justifiable reason or purpose. Haggard. Looking exhausted and ill. Headliner. A performer or act that is promoted as the star attraction on a program or advertisement. Honeycomb. A structure of six-sided cells of wax, made by bees to store honey and eggs. Hubris. Excessive pride or self-confidence. Idiosyncratic. Peculiar or distinctively individual. Immerse. Dip or submerge someone or something in a liquid. Impassioned. Filled with or showing great emotion. Indemnity. Security or protection against a loss. Mailer. The sender of a letter or package by mail. Mausoleum. A building containing a tomb or tombs. Melodramatic. Overdramatic or exaggerated. Metallurgy. The scientific study of the properties, production, and purification of metals. Mull. A thin, soft, plain muslin, used in bookbinding for joining the spine of a book to its cover. Mull. Warm a beverage, especially wine or cider, and add sugar and spices to it. Mushy. Soft and pulpy. Nepalese. A person from Nepal. Ocular. Relating to the eyes or vision. Ontology. The branch of philosophy concerned with the nature of being. Oratory. A small chapel for private worship. Oust. Force out of a job or position of power. Ovary. A female reproductive organ in which eggs or ova are produced. Plumage. A bird's feathers. Possum. An Australasian marsupial that lives in trees. Potted. Grown or preserved in a pot. Premeditated. Planned in advance. Preset. Set the controls of a device at a certain level before using it. Profess. Claim, often falsely, that something is true or the case. Ratify. Give formal consent to an agreement, making it officially valid. Recast. Present something in a different form or style. Recombinant. Relating to genetic material formed by recombination. Refreshment. A light snack or. Rehearse. Practice a play, piece of music, or other work for later public performance. Repellent. Causing disgust or distaste. Reproach. Express one's disapproval of or disappointment with someone. Runny. More liquid in consistency than is usual or expected. Sander. A power tool used for smoothing a surface. Scorecard. Also scoresheet/SK6 or shet/, a card or sheet of paper in which scores are recorded. Seabed. The ground under the sea, the ocean floor. Senna. A laxative prepared from the dried pods of the cassia tree. Serenade. A piece of music sung or played in the open air at night, especially by a man under the window of the woman he loves. Sideshow. A small show or stall at an exhibition, fair, or circus. Slaughterhouse. A place where animals are killed for food. Spotty. Marked with or having spots. Stabilizer. A device used to stabilize a ship or aircraft. Sycamore. An American plane tree. Synthesize. Combine things into a connected whole. Tacit. Understood or suggested without being stated. Takeout. A meal of prepared food purchased from a restaurant, deli, etc., and eaten elsewhere. Tangerine. A small citrus fruit with a loose orange-red skin. Taro. The starchy corm of a tropical Asian plant, eaten as a vegetable. Thrusting. Aggressively ambitious. Tonnage. Weight in tons. Typhoid. An infectious fever that causes red spots on the chest and severe pain in the intestines. Unclaimed. Not having been claimed. Unopened. Not opened. Untapped. Not yet exploited or used. Upholstery. The soft, padded covering on a sofa, chair, etc. Veracity. The quality of being true or accurate. Vide. C. Used as an instruction in a written work to refer the reader elsewhere. Viscous. Having a thick, sticky consistency between solid and liquid. Vixen. A female fox. Whitey. Informal, derogatory, a white person. Windfall. A large amount of money that is received unexpectedly. Workday. A day on which a person works. Wreak. Cause a great amount of damage or harm. Yap. Give a sharp, shrill bark. Ablaze. Burning fiercely. Adriatic. Relating to the region of the Adriatic Sea, between Italy and the Balkans. Aegean. Relating to the region of the Aegean Sea, between Greece and Turkey. Amiss. Not quite right. Amphetamine. A drug used illegally as a stimulant. Antidepressant. A drug used to relieve depression. Aqueduct. A long channel or raised bridge-like structure, used for carrying water across country. Audiovisual. Using both sight and sound. Awry. And adjective away from the expected course or position. Bask. Lie in warmth and sunlight for pleasure. Befriend. Become a friend to someone. Chiropractic. A system of complementary medicine based on the manipulation of the joints, especially those of the spinal column. Colloquial. Used in ordinary conversation, not formal or literary. Confidant. A person in whom one confides. Confiscate. Take or seize property with authority. Cornea. The transparent layer forming the front of the eye. Decompression. Reduction in air pressure. Deflation. The action or process of deflating or being deflated. Denominational. Relating to a particular branch of a church or religion. Dermatology. The branch of medicine concerned with skin disorders. Devotee. A person who is very enthusiastic about someone or something. Disprove. Prove that something is false. Divulge. Reveal information that is meant to be private or secret. Docile. Willing to accept control or instruction, submissive. Dogmatic. Forcefully putting forward one's own beliefs or opinions and unwilling to accept those of other people. Echelon. A level or rank in an organization, profession, or society. Edifice. Formal one, a large, imposing building. Ethel. The radical. Expatriate. A person who lives outside their native country. Facelift. A surgical operation to remove unwanted wrinkles by tightening the skin of the face. Fairway. The part of a golf course between a tee and a green. Pharaoh. A litter of pigs. Flamenco. A style of Spanish guitar music accompanied by singing and dancing. Flustered. Agitated and confused. Franciscan. A monk or nun of a Christian religious order following the precepts of the Italian monk Saint Francis of Assisi. Gael. A Gaelic-speaking person. Gaseous. Relating to or having the characteristics of a gas. Grits. A dish of coarsely ground corn kernels boiled with water or milk. Grueling. Extremely tiring and demanding. Gulp. Swallow drink or food quickly or in large mouthfuls. Gypsum. A soft white or gray mineral used to make plaster of Paris and in the building industry. Hasten. Be quick to do something, move quickly. Heady. Exciting or exhilarating. Hotly. In a passionate, excited, or angry way. Humanly. From a human point of view. Husbandry. The care, cultivation, and breeding of crops and animals, farming. Hyperbole. A way of speaking or writing that deliberately exaggerates things for effect. Ibuprofen. A synthetic compound used as a painkiller and to reduce inflammation. Immobile. Not moving, motionless. Impair. Weaken or damage something. Kinetics. The branch of chemistry concerned with the rates of chemical reactions. Layup. Basketball, a one-handed shot made from near the basket, especially one that rebounds off the backboard. Libra. A constellation and the seventh sign of the zodiac, the scales, which the sun enters about September 23rd. Macabre. Disturbing and horrifying because concerned with death or injury. Magnification. The action of magnifying something with a lens or microscope. Memento. An object kept as a reminder of a person or event. Milieu. A person's social environment. Monsignor. The title of various senior Roman Catholic priests and officials. Mutt. Informal one, a dog, especially a mongrel. Naturalistic. Closely imitating real life or nature. Nepotism. Favoritism shown to relatives or friends, especially by giving them jobs. Oblong. Having a rectangular shape. Operatic. Relating to opera. Ophthalmology. The study and treatment of disorders and diseases of the eye. Orca. A killer whale. Painstaking. Very careful and thorough. Pall. A dark cloud of smoke or dust. Pall. Become less appealing or interesting as a result of being too familiar. Patchy. Existing or happening in small, isolated areas. Pecan. A smooth pinkish-brown nut with a kernel similar to a walnut, obtained from a tree of the southern U.S. Perceptual. Relating to the ability to perceive things through the senses. Pique. Irritation or resentment arising from hurt pride. Pomegranate. A round tropical fruit with a tough golden orange skin and sweet red flesh containing many seeds. Pre-game. In or relating to the period before a sporting event. Promiscuous. Having many sexual partners. Resell. Sell something one has bought to someone else. Scrapbook. A book of blank pages for sticking cuttings, drawings, or pictures in. Shoal. A large number of fish swimming together. Sledgehammer. A large, heavy hammer used for breaking rocks, driving in posts, etc. Smite. Be smitten, be affected severely by a disease or feeling. Somatic. Relating to the body, especially as distinct from the mind. Stingray. A ray, fish, with a long poisonous serrated spine at the base of the tail. Subcontinent. A large part of a continent considered as a particular area, such as North America. Subsidize. Support an organization or activity financially. Substation. A set of equipment reducing the high voltage of electrical power transmission to that suitable for supply to consumers. Tantamount. Equivalent in seriousness to. Thereto. Formal to that or that place. Thorny. Having many thorns or thorn bushes. Trifle. A thing of little value or importance. Twine. Strong thread or string consisting of strands of hemp or cotton twisted together. Unfulfilled. Not fulfilled. Unoccupied. Not occupied. Venous. Relating to a vein or the veins. Voila. There it is, there you are. Worksheet. A paper listing questions or tasks for students. Abysmal. Extremely bad. Aorta. The main artery supplying blood from the heart to the rest of the body. Apostasy. The abandonment of a belief or principle. Ashram. A Hindu religious retreat or community. Ayatollah. A Shiite religious leader in Iran. Ba. Of a sheep or lamb, bleat. Beret. A flat round cap of felt or cloth. Bookshelf. A shelf on which books can be stored. Boron. A crystalline chemical element used in making alloy steel and in nuclear reactors. Bronchitis. Inflammation of the mucous membrane in the bronchial tubes. Brotherly. Relating to a brother. Bugle. A creeping plant with blue flowers on upright stems. Bumblebee. A large hairy bee with a loud hum. CAF. A stupid, rude, or clumsy man. Carboniferous. Geology relating to the fifth period of the Paleozoic era, about 363 to 290 million years ago, when extensive coal-bearing strata were formed. Catechism. A summary of the principles of the Christian religion in the form of questions and answers, used for teaching. Categorize. Place someone or something in a particular category. Causality. The relationship between something that happens and the effect it produces. Chatty. Fond of chatting. Chug. Move with a series of muffled explosive sounds, as of an engine running slowly. Churchyard. An enclosed area surrounding a church, especially as used for burials. Clapper. The free-swinging metal piece inside a bell that strikes the bell to produce the sound. Clarion. Literary loud and clear. Cognac. A high-quality brandy made in Cognac in western France. Combatant. A person or nation taking part in fighting during a war. Commie. Informal, derogatory, a communist. Concentric. Sharing the same center. Confine. Confine someone/thing to, keep someone or something within certain limits of space, scope, or time. Congregate. Gather into a crowd or mass. Copycat. Informal, a person who copies another. Corroborate. Confirm or give support to a statement or theory. Cred. Informal short for credibility, sense to. Credal/credle/, also creedle. Cur. An aggressive mongrel dog. Cursory. Hasty and therefore not thorough. Dangle. Hang so as to swing freely. Dearth. A lack or inadequate amount of something. Delinquency. Minor crime, especially that committed by young people. Disservice. A harmful action. Distaste. Dislike or mild hostility. Environmentalist. A person who is concerned about protecting the environment. Euphemism. A mild or less direct word used rather than one that is blunt or may be considered offensive. Exacerbate. Make something bad worse. Falsehood. The state of being untrue. Fantasia. A musical composition that does not follow a conventional form. Firestorm. A very intense and destructive fire, fanned by strong currents of air drawn. Flange. A projecting flat rim on an object for strengthening it or attaching it to something. Flaunt. Display something proudly or in a way intended to attract attention. Flyer. Variant spelling of flyer. Flinch. Make a quick, nervous movement as an instinctive reaction to fear or pain. Florentine. Relating to the city of Florence in Italy. Freehold. Chiefly eights. Permanent and absolute ownership of land or property with the freedom to sell it when one wishes. Frisk. Pass the hands over someone in a search for hidden weapons or drugs. Fundamentalism. A form of Protestant Christianity that promotes the belief that everything written in the Bible is literally true. Gad. Gad about / around, informal enjoy oneself by visiting many different places or traveling from one place to another. Girth. The measurement around the middle of something. Goal scorer. A player who scores a goal. Godmother. A female godparent. Guatemalan. A person from. Hellish. Relating to or like hell. Hemoglobin. A red protein containing iron, responsible for transporting oxygen in the blood. Hermitage. The home of a hermit, especially when small and remote. Hourglass. A device with two connected glass bulbs containing sand that takes an hour to fall from the upper to the lower bulb. Hygienic. Clean and free of the organisms that spread disease. Idiocy. Extremely stupid behavior. Impersonal. Not influenced by or involving personal feelings. Inhaler. A portable device used for inhaling a medicine. Intersex. The condition of having both male and female sex organs or characteristics, hermaphroditism. Jacuzzi. Trademark a large bath with jets of water that massage the body. Lacquer. A varnish made of shellac or of synthetic substances. Malevolent. Wishing AVI to others. Masterclass. A class, especially in music, given to students by an expert in the field. Matrimony. The state of being married, or the ceremony of marriage. Microprocessor. An integrated circuit that can perform the role of a central processing unit of a computer. Midweek. The middle of the week. Minefield. An area planted with explosive mines. Murmur. Say something quietly. Napoleonic. Relating to or characteristic of the French Emperor Napoleon I or his time. Necrosis. the death of most or all of the cells in an organ or tissue due to disease or injury. Nth, referring to the last or latest item in a long series. Onerous, involving great effort and difficulty. Outsource, obtain goods from an outside supplier. Pained, showing annoyance or distress. Playmaker, a player in a team game who leads attacks or brings teammates into attacking positions. Plumb, explore or experience fully or to extremes. Plunger, a part of a device that can be pushed down. Presto, and adjective music in a quick tempo. Prodigal, using money or resources in a wasteful way. Prodigious, impressively large. Propellant, a compressed gas that forces out the contents of an aerosol. Pulley, a wheel with a grooved rim around which a rope, chain, or belt passes, used to raise heavy weights. Recluse, a person who avoids other people and lives a solitary life. Refinance, finance something again, typically with new loans at a lower rate of interest. Reformist, supporting or recommending gradual political or social reform. Refresher, a course or activity intended to update or improve one's skills or knowledge. Remodel, change the structure or form of something. Reschedule, change the time of a planned event. Retroactive, taking effect from a date in the past. Ribbed, having a pattern of raised bands. Schoolhouse, a building used as a school, especially in a small community. Seashore, an area of sandy or rocky land next to the sea. Seclusion, the state of being private and away from other people. Selenium, a gray crystalline nonmetallic chemical element with semiconducting properties. Signatory, a person, organization, state, or country that has signed an agreement. Soulmate, a person ideally suited to another. Spiteful, deliberately hurtful, malicious. Stinger, the part of an insect or animal that holds a sting. Subtropical, relating to the regions of the world that are near or next to the tropics. Summation, the process of adding things together. Tableau, a group of models or motionless figures representing a scene from a story or from history. Trotter, a horse bred or trained for the sport of trotting. Underpants, an undergarment covering the lower part of the torso and having 2 holes for the legs. Underprivileged, not enjoying the same rights or standard of living as the majority of the population. Unimpressed, not impressed. Unrelenting, not stopping or becoming weaker. Unsupervised, not done or acting under supervision. Vegetative, relating to vegetation or the growth of plants. Velcro, Trademark a fastener consisting of two strips of fabric that stick to each other when pressed together. Abrasion. A patch of skin that has been damaged by being scraped. Accrue. Of money, be received in regular or increasing amounts. Acumen. The ability to make good judgments and quick decisions. Allele. Each of two or more alternative forms of a gene that arise by mutation and are found at the same place on a chromosome. Alumnus. A former student of a particular school, college, or university. Andean. Relating to the Andes Mountains of South America. Approachable. Friendly and easy to talk to. Asexual. Not having sexual feelings or associations. Babble. A confused noise made by a number of voices. Balding. Going bald. Banister. Variant spelling of banister. Beryl. A transparent pale green, blue, or yellow mineral used as a gemstone. Blackbird. An American songbird, the male of which has black plumage that is iridescent or has patches of red or yellow. Bluebird. An American songbird, the male of which has a blue head, back, and wings. Breech. The back part of a rifle or gun barrel. Buttery. Containing, tasting like, or covered with butter. Buttery. A room for storing wine and liquor. Caliph. Historical, the chief Muslim civil and religious ruler, regarded as the successor of Muhammad. Choppy. Of the sea, having many small waves. Chromatic. Relating or referring to a musical scale that rises or falls by half steps. Chump. Informal, a foolish or easily deceived person. Clove. The dried flower bud of a tropical tree, used as a spice. Columbine. An aquilegia with long spurred flowers. Countenance. A person's face or facial expression. Crackling. The crisp fatty skin of roast pork. Cryptography. The art of writing or solving codes. Dapper. Neat in dress and appearance. Deathly. Suggesting death. Dermatitis. Inflammation of the skin as a result of irritation or an allergic reaction. Dictatorial. Relating to or controlled by a dictator. Disinterested. Not influenced by personal feelings, impartial. Downplay. Make something appear less important than it really is. Ensue. Happen afterward or as a result. Environs. The area surrounding a place. Errant. Formal or humorous, straying from the accepted course or standards. Esophagus. The muscular tube that connects the throat to the stomach. Ethylene. A flammable hydrocarbon gas present in natural gas and coal gas. Exterminate. Destroy someone or something completely. Phase. Informal disconcert or unsettle someone. Forsake. Chiefly literary for abandon someone. Gecko. A lizard of warm regions, with adhesive pads on the feet. Generalize. Make a general or broad statement based on specific cases. Gondola. A flat-bottomed 558 good boat used on Venetian canals, having a high point at each end and worked by one or at the stern. Guacamole. A dish of mashed avocado mixed with chili peppers, tomatoes, and other ingredients. Handcrafted. Made skillfully by hand. Harbinger. A person or thing that announces or signals the approach of something. Headshot. A photograph of a person's head. Heartily. In a hearty way. Helpline. A telephone service providing help with problems. Henchman. Chiefly derogatory of faithful supporter or assistant, especially one prepared to engage in criminal or dishonest activities. Hurl. Throw someone or something with great force. Hydroxide. A compound containing OH negative ions together with a metallic element. Ilk. A type. Introvert. A shy, quiet person who is mainly concerned with their own thoughts and feelings. Invocation. The action of appealing to someone or something as an authority or in support of an argument. Iroquois. A member of a former group of 6 American Indian peoples who lived mainly in southern Ontario and Quebec and northern New York State. Irreparable. Impossible to repair or put right. Journeyman. One a skilled worker who is employed by another. Kuwaiti. A person from Kuwait. Lactic. Relating to or obtained from milk. Lathe. A machine for shaping wood or metal by means of a rotating drive that turns the piece being worked on against changeable cutting tools. Lopsided. With one side lower or smaller than the other. Lunacy. Insanity, not in technical use. Mantle. A mantelpiece or mantelshelf. Mayday. An international radio distress signal used by ships and aircraft. Mumble. Say something indistinctly and quietly. Nonpartisan. Not biased or prejudiced in favor of a particular cause or political group. Noxious. Harmful, poisonous, or very unpleasant. Octagon. A plane figure with 8 straight sides and 8 angles. Opulent. Expensive and luxurious. Ordinate. Mathematics, a straight line from a point on a graph drawn parallel to the vertical axis and meeting the other, the y-coordinate. Outstretched. Extended or stretched out. Overbearing. Trying to impose one's views or control other people in a forceful and unpleasant way. Pectoral. Relating to or worn on the breast or chest. Polaroid. Trademark one a composite material that polarizes the light passing through it, pulled or produced in thin plastic sheets and used in sunglasses. Pre-existing. Existing from an earlier time,